Now, I would like to explain the second factor that are determining Korean foreign policy, which is ideology, and namely anti-communism. So anti-communist policy of South Korea has started from the beginning of the Korean Republic and to the 1990. So during the Cold War, the authoritarian regimes in Seoul applied very stringent policies in domestic and foreign policies against communism. So anyone who opposed to domestic politics were considered to be pro-North Korea. So they are communists. So they were put prison. They were put prison. In foreign policy, they were strongly antagonistic policies toward communist countries. So all the communist countries were considered to be enemies. And Seoul maintained no relationships or unfriendly relations with pro-socialist neutral countries, even neutral countries. So Seoul did not have any diplomatic relations with pro-socialist, even neutral countries. Obviously, this principle was largely made by the eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation or fierce competition with North Korea. And this fierce competition and harsh confrontation with North Korea was crystallized by the adoption of the Holstein Doctrine. Holstein Doctrine is a key principle of diplomacy of the Federal Republic of Germany, West Germany, from 1955 to 1970s. Dr. Walter Hallstein, Walter Holstein. Dr. Walter Hallstein was a German academic, diplomat, and statesman. And when he was in charge of the West German foreign policy, he made a Holstein Doctrine. It says West Germany would not have any relations with countries who have relations with East Germany, except the Soviet Union, except the USSR. And the Bonn government, the Bonn, abandoned it in 1970. And naturally, South Korea adopted this doctrine and continued to maintain it until the 1988, in the year when the Seoul Olympics was held. West Germany dropped it in 1970, but South Korea dropped it in 1988. So Holstein Doctrine was West Germany's political policy, isolating East Germany diplomatically. Yet it was not much of success. So West Germany dropped it in 1970. After all, already in 1970, West Germany was far superior to East Germany. So it did not have any necessity to maintain that doctrine. But for the Republic of Korea, adopting the doctrine provided many negative externalities in diplomatic sense too. It did not have many diplomatic relationship as many countries it could have. Not many. Not have the diplomatic relationship. And also could not join the third world. From the 1960s and 70s on, a lot of developing countries became a member of the third world club. But South Korea tried to join that third world, but always failed. Because South Korea kept the anti-communist or anti-socialist policies against the many developing worlds. So it finally dropped in 1988 for the Seoul Olympic Games. Nordpolitik. So during the Roh-Tae-woo administration in 1988, Seoul abandoned the Holstein Doctrine in 1988 in order to invite as many countries for the 1988 Seoul Olympics. It was right before the collapse of the Cold War. So in 1988 Seoul Olympics, there were history-breaking numbers of countries participated, either the Eastern world or the Western world. Also at the same time, by the mid-1980s, South Korea became superior to Pyongyang in economic and military terms. And right after the establishment of the governments in 1948, the competition between the two systems, two governments started. And it was a very fierce and stern and severe. So both governments tried really hard to win the competition, but until mid-1970s, North Korea was winning the competition. North Korea was superior to South Korea until the mid-1970s. But from the mid-1970s on, South Korea gained the superiority over North Korea. So the Roh-Tae-woo administration vigorously pursued Nordpolitik. Nordpolitik means North politics. In the late 80s, improved their relations with socialist countries, including the Soviet Union and many Eastern European countries and China. So in 1988 Seoul Olympics, both Soviet Union and China and many Eastern European countries participated. After the Olympics, Seoul normalized its diplomatic relations with Moscow in 1990 and normalized with China in 1992. So it was a success of Nordpolitics pursued by the Roh-Tae-woo administration of South Korea.